Hey, what's going on, guys? Pulsating Sack here. Today we're just going to do a little bit of gambling with gold, show you what I go for, what we're trying to get, and then we're going to go into Expedition. I'm going to spend most of the video talking about Expedition, gambling, how to potentially make money from that. So yeah, let's just get to it. With gambling, I mainly just focus on amulets. I mean, I guess you could try belts, you could try weapons, crafting a minion scepter, whatever. But I think amulets are the best bang for your buck, right? So, and if you don't know, you can actually get uniques from gambling, which we already have one right here. Yep, we got a unique, so that's getting sold though. Now, with amulets, what you're really looking to get mainly is +3 to skills, projectile, melee, minions, etc. Are you looking for double rarity, like prefix, suffix? Or I'm just going to look for really good stats, prefix, suffix, and then try to exalt slam or chaos it or whatever, right? So we're just going to go through real quick.
Seems like a good deal.
Look at them. There's nothing crazy. And I'll see if we have anything even worth talking about. Actually, I'll probably just buy this back. Try to throw something on that. That's a decent roll. +1 minions, like at this late in the game, I wouldn't even bother with +1 minions or any +1. So you could try to get spirit as well, but you know, I don't bother wasting a bunch of stuff on them. 99% of the time, you're just gonna get a whole bunch of crap. But like I said, you can gamble uniques. So trying to go for like Astramentus or something like that, probably possible. But it's not gonna happen. Right, so yeah, that's mainly what I do with excess gold. I know you could save up 10-15 million and then do it all at once. I usually do 1 to 2 million. I don't have much patience with hoarding, but yeah, that's gambling. We're gonna go into Expedition. Like I said, this is gonna be the main point of the video, so let's hop to it. All right, so I'm not gonna bore you with a ton of, you know, I'm not going to go through all of my coins or all these crafts because I have a ton just sitting in the stash. I do way too much expedition gambling, and yeah, it's not the funnest thing to watch. But we're going to go through, and I'm just going to tell you what I look for, right? So most important thing is bases, right? So like not only is like what the stats are on it to begin with, but the base, right? So we have a level 79 base here with an okay flat fizz roll. So we'll test it out, right? We don't want to reroll prefix, suffixes, but so we'll reroll that. We're gonna make it rare, and we got a a pretty bad percentage fizz roll. Like that can go up to like 165 or 170 or something like that, right? But you know, we could probably exalt slam, maybe get a hybrid, and then maybe a melee skills if we're lucky, and sell it for, you know, some exalts or maybe a single divine or whatever, right? Like I said, the bases are the most important thing. So I'd roll this. I wouldn't roll the 62. I'd roll this. With bow specifically, I only roll the dual string, which is the +1 arrow higher base. And then I usually roll the higher base crossbows. And I'll roll the wands or staves if they have +4 or +6 skills on them already. If they don't already have that, I generally won't roll it. And then for the one-handed weapons, I don't roll one-handed weapons at all. Maybe you could roll a good one. Maybe they're worth something. But I haven't had any luck selling any, so I generally won't roll it, right? So the other thing that we don't have on here is rattling scepters. Now I'll roll every single one of those that I get, and the mod you're looking for on those is +4 to 5 minion skills, damage in your presence, attack damage in your presence for like your minions, and then you want percentage spirit. If it has just those 3 mods, it'll sell for, you know, some divines. If they're high rolls, I sold one earlier for 15 divines that had like 80% spirit or 60% spirit and then like 80 damage and presence, whatever. Like you can get some really good stuff from Expedition. Now, majority of the time, you will probably just lose money. And, you know, that's okay. We're doing this for fun. It's not necessarily a money-making method per se. We're doing it just for fun. And then, like I said, on staves, bows, I mainly just roll for fizz. We want the fizz, melee skills, attack speed, crit, that type of stuff. Bows, you want additional arrows, projectile skills. Now, you could probably try to roll like a high Ellie bow as well. So cold, fire, lightning on the prefix. That might sell. Crossbows is going to be the same thing. It's mostly a lot of fizz stuff that I roll. So yeah, this is my favorite expedition person that I usually just waste my stuff on. But yeah, we'll go into the next ones coming up. All right, so we're at Tujen now. This is going to be belts, rings, and amulets. If you want to go through your coins really fast, this is the guy to go to because you don't get much stock in here at all. So you'll get a few things. I don't generally roll amulets unless they already have plus skills on them because the waiting to get plus skills is already super low. I feel like you just waste currency, right? So I mean, we'll do one. Caspi, I mean, like it's just a bunch of nonsense. We got, you know, low fire res. I mean, maybe not even. All attributes, Ellie res, cold res. This isn't bad. Get rid of the max mana. We got shit max energy shield, right? So, you know, it is what it is. Mainly what I roll is belts, okay? What I look for in belts is something that already has either high life or a single high res. One of the two. You can roll chaos rings as well. We'll get into that in a minute. And then like gold rings for double rarity. But we'll just do a few here. We'll get a ring with a high res on it. You don't want evasion or accuracy really on a cast speed. Intellect's fine. I mean, you know, I'm just going to sell that because you're going to end up exalt slamming, chaosing some items, a good majority of your items, right? So you really just want to have as best of an item as you can before you start going into that. I just want to get a single belt here to show you how I'd roll a belt. So this may take a second. I'm just going to waste a bunch of coins trying to find something that might be decent. All right, so here we got high, max life, max mana. And we got a suffix that we don't necessarily care about. So I add a suffix. We don't want to re-roll those. Add another suffix. Re-roll. Hey, look at that. I mean, that's decent, right? We got a strength, high dual res, max mana, max life. This might be 50 plus exalts. Maybe a divine. You know, it is what it is. Like, we could probably get something for that, right? So that's Tujen. Like I said, amulets, I usually only roll them if they have plus skills already. Rings if they have a single high res, max life, etc. You really want at least one good mod to roll, and you want to roll that mod off. And then belts is going to be a single good res or max life. Alright, so it's really that simple. Let's move on to the next. Alright, so we're at ROG. Now, ROG has a lot of potential. My favorite thing to roll on ROG is probably boots, then chests, next, and then helmets last. I usually don't roll shields and I don't roll gloves. So I mainly stick to, like I said, boots, chests, helmets, and I ignore armor bases. Anything with armor in it because it's just much lower value, much harder to sell, takes longer. So we mainly stick to evasion or energy shield, right? So we'll go through, we'll see what we can find. With boots, I'm looking for movement speed. With armor, I'm looking for the higher bases. You know, just and then on armor you're gonna roll like defensive stats. You want to get as much of the evasion or energy shield as possible. Then with resistances secondary. With it, helmets, we can roll decent helmets sometimes, but you generally just want really high energy shield plus rarity. So we got double rarity right here. So this is a perfect item. You know, potentially be good if we just throw some exalts on it. Boom. Nope, it's ass, right? So we're just going to delete that. But anyway, you know, like, that's the point of it. You want to get some good stats. Maybe double rarity, max life, high energy shield, exalt slam. Or chaos if it's a really good item and has the potential to be really, really good. maybe waste some chaos on it, right? So higher base energy shield here. We're just going to try to roll off this stuff right here. So now we got a decent start. We got a good energy shield and a lightning res. So now we got even more energy shield. We're not going to re-roll. This is the last craft. We're not going to re-roll that. So we're just going to take it over here. Look at it. We're going to exalt slam. Boom. Max life, whatever. And then bleeding duration. And then dual res. So 300 energy shield. Not going to sell really. Maybe 10 exalts or something. I generally don't bother with anything less than 25 exalts. I have a 10 exalt tab, but it's pretty empty. I try not to waste too much time with that. Yeah, we'll just roll another helmet for fun. Let's, hybrid energy shield, max life. Reroll the modifiers, get them higher or lower. Reroll suffix. Now these are pretty bad suffix rolls. Still bad. So, I wouldn't even sell that. So let's go through. We'll do another one for funsies. So like I said, with boots, I try to find ones with movement speed already, but sometimes you can get lucky and get movement speed on it. Like we got a high rarity roll with no other stats, so we'll just 11 dex. And we got our movement speed, but it's not great, right? So I'll just stop right there. Like I said, you're gonna waste a lot of currency doing this. I've probably spent 100 plus divines on rolling stuff from Expedition. We've made, believe it or not, I've spent 100 plus divines, but I honestly feel like we've made more than that back. We've gotten a lot of lucky hits. I think the highest item I've sold was 20 divines. I haven't got anything crazy like mirror worthy or 100 divines plus, but we generally get a lot of items between 1 divine, 5 divine, a few items higher than 5, and other than that, that's mainly what you're banking on. You're not trying to make god tier pieces. Obviously you want to, but that's not going to be what you're aiming for here. You want to get some higher tier pieces that most people would use in late game, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll do a couple more rolls, and then I'll do another section after this, kind of going more in depth on what we look for on the armors and different items that we're rolling. So a decent evasion base. We'll try to re-roll this. We got single res, high evasion, make it rare. We got life regen, so that's a wasted suffix, but just for the video we'll exalt slam. Oh, we got max life, low max life, so I'm done exalt slamming that. But yeah, so that's pretty much the vendors. That's Expedition. It's a lot of fun, in my opinion. So try it out if you have the currency to blow. And then, like I said, the next part of the video, I'm going to try to lay out more of what we're going for in detail. All right, so I'm sorry if I went through everything super fast. I didn't want this to be like a 45-minute video. I think I could have easily spent 30 plus minutes on each vendor, showing y'all different things and explaining different things. Now, if you want that type of video, I can do it for sure. But that's not my intentions with this video. It was just to go through quick and easy, give you some ideas for each vendor. So yeah, the little caveat, the stuff I'm about to explain is what's worked for me. I'm sure there are a lot of different, maybe even better methods out there. There's plenty of stuff I'm missing out on. I don't have all the information. I'm just kind of playing the game and teaching myself as I go. The stuff I ignore is not because it can't be good items. It's just because they're potentially slow sellers. For example, a good energy shield chest piece is going to sell way faster than a good armor chest piece. And it's just based on what builds people are currently playing. And it's pretty obvious right now that armor is lackluster in this game, right? So it's just much easier to sell the stuff that sells, right? Versus trying to gamble stuff that you may not even sell even if you get good rolls. So I'm just going to go through a list real quick. I can make like a physical, like a written out list if y'all are interested in that as well. But I generally don't use a list. I just kind of have my game plan in mind when I go to the vendor. But here we go. We got Tujen. So belts, roll stuff with high max life, high resistances, 1 to 2 charm slots. Try, you know, don't focus on the other stuff. Mainly want something that already has that. Rings. High rarity, double rarity, high resistance, high max life. Now, there are plenty of other good stats, but generally a good ring will always have a mix of those as a base, right? A ring with, you know, a lot of attributes on it can be good for an attribute monk build or whatever, but, you know, they always have something else as the base, usually resistances or max life or whatever. Amulets, like I said earlier, I generally don't roll amulets unless they have double rarity already or plus 2 to 3 skills. And that's because the weighting on skills is just so low that if you try to roll something that doesn't have skills already, more than likely you're not going to hit skills. And the plus skills on amulets is really what sells right now. Gwen. The base is the most important. Remember, Gwen is the weapons. Base is most important. So good base, two-handed maces, war staves, we're going for high fizz rolls. Dual string bows, we're going for high fizz rolls. Additional arrows, projectile skills. You know, you could try to make an elemental bow. Wands and staffs, I will generally only roll them if they already have plus 4 or plus skills on them. Plus 4 for wands, plus 6 for staffs. And that's for the same reason I said earlier for amulets. We do ignore all physical one-handed weapons. And then for scepters, we only roll rattling scepter. And for rattling scepter, you want plus 4 to 5 minions, the damage and presence, and a percentage spirit roll. Those are the 3 stats you need to be able to sell it, really. If you're missing even one of those stats, generally it won't sell. I did sell one that was missing the damage with presence, but I think it had plus 5 minions and then a really high percentage spirit roll. So maybe someone bought it to attempt to chaos it on there. You know, people do that as well. So if you get other good stats, potentially try to sell it if you want. With Rog, base is important here as well. Rog is the armor. Base is super important here. I try to roll boots with movement speed, high ES or evasion armor, high ES or evasion helmets. Resistance is fairly easier to roll on this stuff, so don't necessarily worry about the resistances. You could try to get that on there as you craft or Chaos Exalt type of thing. I ignore all armor pieces for the reasons I mentioned earlier, and we ignore all physical shields for the exact same reason. I'm sure you can make a great shield. I'm sure someone will buy it. I just don't deal with it, right? So really simple video, quick, easy. Didn't go super in depth, but hopefully you learned something. And if you are wanting a super in-depth video, 30, 45 minutes, I could make that. So just let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. All right, peace out, y'all.